Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Poul, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Recently I've suffered another heart attack. It's a genetic thing that I really can't help too much, so I was off work for a month, so it's been a little tricky in that way that I've not had what I really wanted to be able to buy as much food as we wanted, so meals are a little bit. But anyways, my point is that sometimes when you're not really got the money, sometimes you can make do a little bit with what you have. So we're going to be making a little bit of a bean dinner. So I've got 2 cans of baked beans in there. Stove's not on for that yet. But here I've got some leftover vegetables. There's some carrots, onion, some peppers, and then some ground up. And then I've got some ground up burger in here. Chef Amy's working right now, so I'm going to be doing this by myself, so bear with me here. This has been in the fridge for a little bit, not that long, but it's kind of cool, so just to help it out, I'm going to put this in a frying pan because we're going to heat this up a little bit. Amy and I have this thing about not wasting food. So I'm going to basically take some stuff that would be sitting around the fridge for so long that I would probably end up getting tossed out. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to stick this into a frying pan, and we're just basically going to heat this up a bit until it's nice and warm, and then we're going to stick it in with the beans, and it'll join the beans and cook with air. Beans doesn't necessarily need that long to cook, and everybody's going to be a little different. Some people are going to want to add some molasses and brown sugar. Beans tend to be, I don't know, they're not exactly sweet. If you're diabetic like us, then that's not necessarily a good idea. We're not going to do that. So it's a little bit trickier to cook when, or to, film when it's only me. So bear with me here. So I have to do the camera and do all the cooking. So basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to heat this up so that it's going to be nice and warm by the time it gets in there. It'll help the beans out because the beans haven't been in the fridge. So I'm a little bit more worried about the contrast and the cold and the hot, or in the warm, going and giving it a little bit of a harder time. So it's not that we have to really cook the vegetables. These have already been cooked. So if you want to take out some peppers, other veggies that you have in the fridge, cut them up. You have some meat, like some ground beef. I'm not a big fan of hot dogs, so you can do that too. Some sausages. You can do some sausages, chicken. You can pretty much do anything you really want. You can put that in there. Some people will even use bacon. Bacon and baked beans actually have a really good flavor to them. That would work. You want to use some maple syrup? Go ahead. Amy and I being diabetic, we're not going to really put that in. It would taste better, yes, but it's not really for us. Now we also got we're going to use a little bit more of honey mustard. So once we got everything in there, I'm going to spread some of that and put that in there, mix it all up, and while it's cooking, and that's basically all you really need. I find that if you talk to people, say, well, you got to have all these different sauces and things, they're not actually going to enjoy what they're cooking. They're not enjoying their meat. They're not enjoying the vegetables. They're just enjoying the sauce. And if that's what you're going to do, you know what? A little bit's all right, but if you're going to do a lot, you might as well just eat the sauce, because that's all you're really tasting. A little bit of sauce is okay. A lot is too much. It's like putting a bunch of hot spice over everything. You really can't taste what you're eating anymore. All you're tasting is the heat. So in all things, I preach moderation. a little bit of sauce, a little bit of spice, just to give it some extra flavoring. That's starting to warm up here, so bear with me. I'm just going to put the camera down and I'm going to put these veggies in with the beans. Now if you're doing this over the stove top, you want to be really careful. Turn your oven off. Watch what you're doing, because believe me, I know people have done this. Cough, cough, my wife. And you can turn your oven on or your stove on and start doing that. I'm going to start pouring some mustard in while I don't have the camera in my hand. We're using 2 cans of beans. If you're only doing one meal, you know what, 1 can is more than enough. But if you're like us, I have a lot of leftovers, so I'm just going to go through the fridge in the next couple of days, because we don't really have a lot right now. And I'm going to basically try to use up what we have so it doesn't go to waste and we have food. A lot of times people think, and at least in Canadian culture, we think we're hungry, we don't really have a lot. But if we look in our fridge, we can usually find a lot of stuff that we stuck in there for later that we don't think. We're people who like to have a lot. We don't like to throw a lot away, but up until the point until where we realize that we now don't have a choice but to get rid of it because it's going bad. So we're back here. We see we got mustard. We've got the veggies in here, and you're just going to give us a good little mix here. If you want, you might put a little bit of cheese on here. I don't know. I wouldn't really want to do that myself. I gotta tell you something here, guys. To anybody who thinks that, you know what I mean, you can't get better off of diabetes, you can't, you'll never be able to, heal yourself. My wife is still kind of a newer diabetic. I mean, she hasn't had it for more than 6 months, probably closer to 3 months. And she's been on her meds, and she's been doing everything she's supposed to be doing. I'll joke and I'll tease how she likes to have chocolate, and she likes to do this, and she likes to do that. But the truth is, and we're going to put the pot on here, but the truth is we're, and I'm going to try to turn this around. But the truth is, Amy's been doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing, and her sugars are perfect. Her doctor's actually told her she doesn't have to actually take her sugars unless, there we go, unless she's having an issue. I'm sorry for the poor camera ship. I'm not the one who usually has the camera, so I do apologize. But it's just me, so I'm trying my best. Anyways, Amy doesn't have to take her sugars unless she's having an issue. Her sugars are nearly perfect. I'm almost thinking if she continues what she's doing, she's probably going to be classified as heal within the next couple blood tests. So, you know what? If you're a new diabetic, there is hope. If you do what you're supposed to do, you can do it. Amy did. So, anyways, we're going to let this boil with the pot on for a little bit. And it's going to start boiling, and this is going to finish cooking this way. You know, nothing too special to look at here. When that's done, it's just going to look like a thing of beans with some veggies in it. If you want to put some fresh cucumber, carrots, onion, stuff like that, that works really beautifully. Just make sure that even with it cooking, that you take the cover off and then you give it a stir a little bit, because otherwise whoever's doing your dishes, whether it be you or your partner, they're gonna have a little bit of a hard time cleaning the pot out. But that's basically it. You just, cook everything until it's pretty much done, because we've already heated up the meat in the veggies, which is not really a whole lot of meat, but since we've already heated it up, it's not going to need a whole lot of time. Canned beans are pretty good that way, because you don't need to have a whole lot of work in them. So, and this is basically what it looks like. When we're done, we're ready to eat this, so it'll taste good. It'll have protein, it'll have a lot of veggies in there, and it's worth eating. It's a little bit of a colder day in July. We've had, rainstorms for the last couple of days, so it kind of sucks that way, but I'm going to take that off the heat and wait for my wife to get off on break, and there we go. We have dinner already made. It's going to be well worth it. It's going to be really good and really healthy. So, so until next time, have a great day, and thanks for visiting Poul's Kitchen, and hit the like button, share, and subscribe. So, welcome to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Poul, and this is Chef Amy. Of course, we watch Chef Amy scarf her face all the time, while I do all the work. Isn't that the way it is in families? Today we're going to be doing a video on leftover beans. The beans themselves aren't leftover. They're actually canned beans with some leftover veggies, some meat. In this case, it's liver.
No, it's not.
What Amy doesn't know is not going to kill her. So, the point of this video is this. A lot of times you start cooking through the week and you put stuff in the fridge as leftovers that you don't really use. And a lot of times it just gets thrown out. So, we had some veggies and some other stuff that were going to get tossed soon, and because they were going to go bad and we weren't going to touch them because we didn't remember they were there. So, Amy and I, not to say we're struggling, we just don't have a lot right now because Amy's the only one working up until recently because of a heart attack. Mine. So, thanks to Amy, we're not starving, so please don't take it that way. But we don't have the extra to go out and just spend that we don't need. So, I don't really have what I want to make a proper video to really show you a lot of really cool stuff. But this is something really cool and really educational. So rather than Amy or I going through the fridge and throwing food away that we don't need to, we took 2 cans of beans, some leftover veggies, and some leftover chicken grind, and this is what we made. Now Amy can go out, she can put maple syrup on, molasses, and she put whatever she wants on there if she wants. There's already mustard in here. So please watch the rest of the video, and hopefully you like it. So in the meantime, please hit like, share, subscribe. Amy, stuff your mouth. How's it taste?
Excellent.
So, excellent source of protein. So, guys, let's get started.